Hey there, YouTube fam. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an intriguing topic to discuss that affects all of us in one way or another. Have you ever wondered if you might be unintentionally manipulative? Well, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we're going to explore 6 signs you're manipulative without realizing it. So, grab a pen and paper, because this one might hit close to home. Sign 1. Being overly persuasive. The first sign of being manipulative without realizing it is being overly persuasive. We all have moments when we try to convince others to see things from our perspective, and that's perfectly normal. However, when persuasion turns into relentless pressure, using slick sales tactics or emotional manipulation, it's time to take a step back and reflect on our behavior. Constantly pushing people to agree with us or manipulating their emotions to get what we want can harm relationships and erode trust. Manipulation through persuasion often involves disregarding the genuine concerns or opinions of others. It can create an imbalanced power dynamic, where one person's desires consistently overshadow the needs of others. Remember, effective communication involves active listening, respecting different viewpoints, and finding compromises that benefit everyone involved. By recognizing and adjusting our approach to persuasion, we can foster healthier and more authentic connections. Being self-aware of our persuasive tendencies is crucial. It's important to ask ourselves if we are truly respecting others' autonomy and giving them the space to make their own decisions. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual trust and understanding, not on one person constantly trying to bend the will of others. One aspect of being overly persuasive is using manipulative language. Watch out for phrases such as, "you have to," "you should," or "if you really cared about me." These statements can place undue pressure on others, making them feel obligated to comply with our wishes. Instead, focus on expressing your thoughts and feelings while allowing others the freedom to make their own choices. Additionally, being aware of nonverbal cues is essential. Pay attention to the body language and reactions of those you interact with. Are they displaying signs of discomfort or reluctance? Are they avoiding eye contact or crossing their arms in defense? Recognizing these signals allows us to adjust our approach and ensure that our persuasive efforts are respectful and considerate. Sign 2. Playing the victim. The second sign of being manipulative without realizing it is playing the victim card. We all experience hardships and challenges in life, and seeking support from others is a natural response. However, when playing the victim becomes a consistent pattern, it can be a manipulative tactic to gain sympathy and control others. Manipulators who play the victim often exaggerate their misfortunes or twist situations to make themselves appear helpless. They use this narrative to guilt-trip others into meeting their demands or to deflect responsibility for their actions. This behavior not only undermines trust but also prevents healthy conflict resolution and personal growth. It's important to remember that taking responsibility for our actions and emotions is essential for personal development. Instead of resorting to playing the victim, we should strive for open and honest communication. By expressing our needs and concerns directly, we can foster genuine connections built on mutual understanding and respect. If you find yourself frequently portraying yourself as the victim, it's crucial to take a step back and assess your behavior. Reflect on whether you are genuinely seeking support or using this tactic to manipulate others. Developing empathy and understanding for the experiences of others can also help break the cycle of playing the victim. Building healthy relationships requires accountability and honest self-reflection. By acknowledging our own role in situations and working towards personal growth, we can cultivate stronger connections based on trust, equality, and mutual support. Remember, true strength lies in taking ownership of our lives and actions, rather than relying on the victim narrative to control others. Sign 3. Gaslighting. The third sign of being manipulative without realizing it is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where someone distorts or denies another person's reality to make them doubt their perceptions, memories, or sanity. This form of psychological manipulation can be incredibly damaging to the victim's self-esteem and well-being. Gaslighters often twist facts, downplay or invalidate others' experiences, and use tactics to make the victim question their own thoughts and emotions. They may say things like, "You're overreacting," "That never happened," or "You're just imagining things." This manipulation technique undermines the victim's confidence, making them more susceptible to the gaslighter's control. If you find yourself frequently dismissing or belittling someone's feelings or experiences, it's important to recognize that this behavior may be gaslighting. Developing empathy and practicing active listening are key to building healthier relationships. Validating others' emotions and experiences fosters trust and open communication. If you suspect that you may be unintentionally gaslighting others, it's crucial to take a step back and reflect on your actions. Engage in open conversations, encourage the expression of feelings, and be willing to admit when you're wrong. Remember, healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and trust, not manipulation and control. Breaking the cycle of gaslighting requires introspection and a commitment to change. Educate yourself about healthy communication and the importance of validating others' experiences. By creating an environment where individuals feel safe to express themselves authentically, we can foster relationships that are based on trust, understanding, and emotional well-being. Sign 4. Emotional blackmail. The fourth sign of being manipulative without realizing it is engaging in emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is a manipulative tactic that involves using emotions to manipulate and control others. It often manifests as threats, guilt trips, or emotional manipulation to make someone feel responsible for the manipulator's happiness or well-being. Individuals who employ emotional blackmail may use statements like, "If you loved me, you would do this for me," or "I'll be devastated if you don't comply with my wishes." These tactics place immense pressure on the recipient, making them feel guilty and obligated to fulfill the manipulator's demands. It's important to recognize that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on emotional manipulation. Respect for individual boundaries and the ability to express needs and desires without resorting to emotional blackmail is key to fostering healthier connections. If you catch yourself engaging in emotional blackmail, take a moment to reflect on your behavior. Seek alternative ways to communicate your needs and concerns without resorting to guilt trips or threats. Building effective communication skills and practicing empathy can help create an environment where individuals feel valued and respected. Breaking the cycle of emotional blackmail requires self-awareness and a commitment to healthier communication patterns. Learn to express your emotions and needs assertively, without manipulating or pressuring others. By fostering open and honest communication, we can cultivate relationships that are based on trust, understanding, and mutual growth. Sign 5. Lack of empathy. The fifth sign of being manipulative without realizing it is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When someone lacks empathy, they struggle to genuinely connect with and comprehend the emotions and experiences of those around them. Manipulative individuals often prioritize their own needs and desires above others, disregarding the impact their actions may have on those they interact with. They may dismiss or downplay the emotions of others, showing a lack of compassion and understanding. If you find yourself consistently failing to acknowledge or validate the emotions of others, it's important to reflect on your behavior. Developing empathy requires active listening, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and recognizing the validity of their experiences. Building empathy is a continuous process that involves practicing active compassion and seeking to understand different perspectives. By cultivating empathy, we can foster deeper connections and create a more harmonious environment in our relationships. Remember, empathy is the foundation of healthy and meaningful connections. It allows us to build trust, show understanding, and support others in their emotional journeys. By prioritizing empathy in our interactions, we can break free from manipulative tendencies and create a more compassionate world. Sign 6. Controlling behavior. The sixth sign of being manipulative without realizing it is engaging in controlling behavior. Controlling individuals seek to assert dominance and influence over others' actions, choices, and decisions. They may use various tactics, such as micromanaging, imposing their will, or limiting the freedom and autonomy of those around them. Manipulators who exhibit controlling behavior often have a deep-seated need for power and control. They may try to dictate how others should think, feel, or behave, disregarding individual autonomy and personal boundaries. Recognizing controlling behavior within ourselves is crucial. Take a moment to reflect on whether you tend to dominate conversations, make decisions on behalf of others without their input, or impose your preferences onto others. Strive to cultivate an environment where everyone's thoughts, opinions, and choices are respected. Healthy relationships are built on trust, mutual respect, and the acknowledgement of individual autonomy. It's essential to foster an atmosphere where individuals feel empowered to make their own decisions and are encouraged to express their authentic selves. Breaking free from controlling tendencies requires self-reflection and a willingness to relinquish control. Learn to trust others and respect their ability to make choices that are right for them. By embracing a more collaborative and empowering approach, we can cultivate healthier relationships based on equality and autonomy. In summary, controlling behavior is a significant sign of unintentional manipulation. By recognizing and addressing our controlling tendencies, we can create a space that fosters autonomy, respect, and personal growth. Let's strive to build relationships that empower others and allow for freedom of choice.